श्री परमात्मने नमः। अथ प्रथमोऽध्यायः। धृतराष्ट्र उवाच धर्मक्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे समवेतायुयुत्सवः मामकाः पाण्डवाश्चैव किमकुर्वत सञ्जय। सञ्जय उवाच दृष्ट्वा तु पाण्डवानीकम् व्यूढम् दुर्योधनस्तदा आचार्यमुपसङ्गम्य राजा वचनमब्रवीत् पश्यैताम् पाण्डुपुत्राणाम् आचार्यमहतीम् च मूम् व्यूढाम् द्रुपदपुत्रेण तव शिष्येण धीमता अत्र शूरा महेश्वासा भीमार्जुन समायुधि युयुधानो विराटश्च द्रुपदश्च महारथः दृष्टकेतुश्चेकितानः काशीराजश्च वीर्यवान् पुरुजित् कुन्तिभोजश्च शैलश्च नरपुङ्गवः युधामन्युश्च विक्रान्तः उत्तमौजाश्च वीर्यवान् सौभद्रो द्रौपदेयाश्च सर्व एव महारथाः अस्माकं तु विशिष्टाये तान् निबोधद्विजोत्तम नायका मम सैन्यस्य सन्न्यार्थं तान् ब्रवीमि ते भवान् भीष्मश्च कर्णश्च कृपश्च समितिञ्जयः अश्वत्थामा विकर्णश्च सौमदत्तिर्जयद्रथः अन्ये च बहवः शूराः मदर्थे त्यक्तजीविताः नानाशस्त्रप्रहरणाः सर्वे युद्धविशारदाः अपर्याप्तं तदस्माकं बलं भीष्माभिरक्षितम् पर्याप्तं त्विदमेतेषां बलं भीमाभिरक्षितम् अयनेषु च सर्वेषु यथा भागमवस्थिताः भीष्ममेवाभिरक्षन्तु भवन्तः सर्व एव हि तस्य सञ्जनयन् हर्षम् उरुवृद्धः पितामहः सिंहनादम् विनद्योच्चैः शङ्खम् दध्मौ प्रतापवान् ततः शङ्खाश्च भैर्यश्च प्रणवानकगोमुखाः सहसैवाभ्यहन्यन्त सशब्दस्तु मुलोऽभवत् ततः श्वेतैर्हयैर्युक्ते महति स्यन्दने स्थितौ माधवः पाण्डवश्चैव दिव्यौ शङ्खौ प्रदध्मतुः पाञ्चजन्यम् ऋषिकेशः देवदत्तम् धनञ्जयः पौण्ड्रम् दध्मौ महाशङ्खम् भीमकर्मा वृकोदरः अनन्तविजयम् राजा कुन्तीपुत्रो युधिष्ठिरः नकुलः सहदेवश्च सुघोषमणिपुष्पकौ काश्यश्च परमेश्वासः शिखण्डी च महारथः दृष्टद्युम्नो विराटश्च सात्यकिश्चापराजितः द्रुपदो द्रौपदेयाश्च सर्वशः पृथिवीपते सौभद्रश्च महाबाहुः शङ्खान् दध्मुः पृथक् पृथक् सघोषोधार्तराष्ट्राणाम् हृदयानि व्यदारयत नभश्च पृथिवीम् चैव तुमुलो व्यनुनादयन् अथ व्यवस्थितान् दृष्ट्वा धार्तराष्ट्रान् कपिध्वजः प्रवृत्ते शस्त्र इदमाह महीपते। अर्जुन उवाच सेनयोरुभयोर्मध्ये रथं स्थापयमेच्युत। यावदेतान्निरीक्षेऽहम् योद्धुकामानवस्थितान्। कैर्मया सह योद्धव्यम् अस्मिन् रणसमुद्यमे। योत्स्यमानानवेक्षेऽहम् य एतेऽत्र समागताः। धार्तराष्ट्रस्य दुर्बुद्धेः युद्धे प्रियचिकीर्षवः। सञ्जय उवाच एवमुक्तो ऋषिकेशः गुडाकेशेन भारत। सेनयोरुभयोर्मध्ये स्थापयित्वा रथोत्तमम्।
सञ्जय उवाच भीष्मद्रोणप्रमुखतः सर्वेषां च महीक्षिताम्। उवाच पार्थ पश्यैतान् समवेतान् कुरूनिति। तत्र पश्य स्थितान् पार्थः पितृनथ पितामहान्। आचार्यान् मातुलान् भ्रातॄन् पुत्रान् पौत्रान् सखींस्तथा श्वशुरान् सुहृदश्चैव सेनयोरुभयोरपि। तान् समीक्ष्य स कौन्तेयः सर्वान् बन्धूनवस्थितान् कृपया परयाविष्टः विषीदन्निदमब्रवीत्। अर्जुन उवाच दृष्ट्वेमं स्वजनं कृष्ण युयुत्सुं समुपस्थितम्। सीदन्ति मम गात्राणि मुखं च परिशुष्यति। वेपतुश्च शरीरे मे रोमहर्षश्च जायते। गाण्डीवं संसते हस्तात् त्वच्चैव परिदह्यते। न च शक्नोम्यवस्थातुं भ्रमतीव च मे मनः। निमित्तानि च पश्यामि विपरीतानि केशव। न च श्रेयोनुपश्यामि हत्वा स्वजनमाहवे। न काङ्क्षे विजयं कृष्ण न च राज्यं सुखानि च। किं नो राज्येन गोविन्द किं भोगैर्जीवितेन वा। येषामर्थे काङ्क्षितं नः राज्यं भोगा सुखानि च। त इमेव स्थिता युद्धे प्राणां त्यक्त्वा धनानि च। आचार्या पितरः पुत्राः तथैव च पितामहा। मातुला श्वशुरा पौत्राः स्याला सम्बन्धिनस्तथा। एतान् हन्तुमिच्छामि घ्नतोऽपि मधुसूदन। अपि त्रैलोक्यराज्यस्य हेतो किं नु मही कृते। निहत्य धातराष्ट्रान्नः का प्रीतिः स्यात् जनार्दन। पापमेवाश्रयेदस्मान् हत्वैतानाततायिनः। तस्मान्नार्हा वयं हन्तुं धार्तराष्ट्रान् स्वबान्धवान्। स्वजनं हि कथं हत्वा सुखिनः स्याम माधव। यद्यप्येतेन पश्यन्ति लोभोपहत चेतसः। कुलक्षयकृतं दोषं मित्रद्रोहे च पातकम्। कथं न ज्ञेयमस्माभिः पापादस्मान् निवर्तितुम्। कुलक्षयकृतं दोषं प्रपश्यद्भिर्जनार्दन। कुलक्षये प्रणश्यन्ति कुलधर्मा सनातनाः। धर्मे नष्टे कुलं कृत्स्नम् अधर्मोऽभिभवत्युत अधर्माभिभवात् कृष्ण प्रदुष्यन्ति कुलस्त्रियः स्त्रीषु दुष्टासु वार्ष्णेय जायते वर्णसङ्करः सङ्करो नरकायैव कुलघ्नानां कुलस्य च पतन्ति पितरो ह्येषां लुप्तपिण्डोदकक्रियाः दोषैरेतैः कुलघ्नानां वर्णसङ्करकारकैः उत्साद्यन्ते जातिधर्माः कुलधर्माश्च शाश्वताः उत्सन्नकुलधर्माणां मनुष्याणां जनार्दन नरके नियतं वासः भवतीत्यनुशुश्रुमा अहो बत महत्पापं कर्तुं व्यवसिता वयं यद्राजसुखलोभेन हन्तुं स्वजनमुद्यताः यदि मामप्रतीकारम् अशस्त्रं शस्त्रपाणयः धार्तराष्ट्रारणे हन्युः तन्मे क्षेमतरं भवेत् सञ्जय उवाच एवमुक्त्वार्जुनः सङ्ख्ये रथोपस्थ उपाविशत् विसृज्य सशरं चापं शोकसंविघ्नमानसः ॐ तत्सत् इति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे अर्जुनविषादयोगो नाम प्रथमोऽध्यायः।
Om Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Puja Gurudev Swami Chinmayananda used to say, what we meet in life is fate. How we meet it is our free will. The first chapter of the Gita, Arjuna Vishad Yoga, demonstrates this very clearly. The purpose of this first chapter is to show to us what is the human response to any challenge, what is the destructive power of attachment, how to diagnose the root cause of our problems, and to establish the need for clarity and purity. The first chapter begins with Dhritarashtra asking Sanjaya, Dharma kshetre kurukshetre samaveta yuyutsavaha mamaka pandavaschaiva kimakurvata Sanjaya. Dhritarashtra is the old blind king. He is completely blinded by his attachment to his own sons, and he acts in a tamasic way. What is his duty as a king, he is not able to do, and as a result of that, this war has become imminent. From the position of a king where he could have controlled the entire situation and the war need not have happened, he comes down to a helpless position to ask his charioteer that what did my children and Pandu's children do, having assembled in the sacred war field of Kurukshetra. So there is regret, there is guilt, his heart is very heavy. This is the flight response, where he did not do his duty, and as a result, the fight, the war has become imminent, and now there is fright in his heart. Dhritarashtra literally means Dhritam Rashtram Yena Saha, who has held the kingdom which is not his. He is a symbol of tamas, who makes us question that what is it that we are holding on to? What is the attachment that we are holding on to which is preventing us from doing our duties? Whether it is exercise, whether it is spiritual sadhana, whether it is some achievement in the goal, what is it that we are attached to? What is it that prevents us from doing what we have to do? The first line of the Gita, Dharma Kshetre Kurukshetre, urges all of us that in each role of life we must do our duties and do it with dedication and commitment. There should not be any lacuna or lethargy in that. Kshetre Kshetre Dharmam Kuru. So it is said that the Gita is to tell us what exactly is our dharma. The first word is dharma and the last word is mama. So mama dharma, what is my dharma? Being so attached to his own son, he was not able to do his duty as a king, and he discriminated psychologically, my children and Pandu's children. Attachment does this to us, where it distracts us from our duties, makes us do what we should not be doing, and then we'll end up in regret. When Sanjay was asked by Dhritarashtra that what did my children and Pandu's children do, Sanjay replies first about his children. So he speaks about Duryodhan. Duryodhan is the symbol of Rajoguna, where he is attached to power, position. He is very greedy and insecure. The inferiority that his father had has influenced him also tremendously. So he continuously compares himself with the Pandavas and tries to prove that he is stronger, he is greater than the Pandavas. He has jealousy against the Pandavas, and his whole life, his potential was wasted just because of this inferiority and jealousy. It has compelled him to do adharma, though he knows that this is adharma. Hence, in the battlefield, there is tremendous fear, insecurity, and stress in his mind, and yet he does not exhibit that. He, in fact, goes to his teacher, Acharyam upasangamya, Raja Vachanam abravit. He goes to his teacher, but instead of surrendering, opening up, and seeking guidance, his ego prevents him. He, in fact, taunts his teacher and comes back. So Duryodhan is a symbol of disintegration. He is something else inside, something else outside. Stress, worries, fears inside, but outside there is a false show of strength. Literally, the meaning of Duryodhan means one who is invincible in war. Yet all his strength was robbed away because of his adharma. So Duryodhan makes us think that what is it that we are attached to, where we are compelled to do adharmic things, and how it affects our morale, how it affects our inner strength. And when we face challenges of life, how we are not even able to open up and seek guidance. Our own ego prevents us. So Duryodhan's response is the fright response. He is scared from inside. He does not confess to his teacher. That is his flight response. And he wants to fight to prove his superiority and to destroy the Pandavas. He is so overwhelmed that he doesn't even know how to conduct himself in front of the teacher. And he not only taunts the teacher, he starts listing the Pandava warriors, Bhim, Arjun, Yuyudhana, Virata, Drupada, Satyaki, many names he gives. And he sees that his teacher is very upset with his behavior. So he lists down his own side warriors also, just in one verse. For Pandavas, there is a long list. In one of the verses, Duryodhan even says that our army is very vast, but insufficient to win over them. Their army is limited but sufficient to win. This shows how Duryodhan was feeling very weak internally. The Kauravas have 11 Akshauhinis and Pandavas have only 7. Still Duryodhan feels weak. Looking at this behavior of Duryodhan, Bhishma Pitama recognizes that this is going to break the morale of the whole army. So he blows the conch. Technically now, Kauravas are the aggressors on the Pandavas. Pandavas are the defenders. Once Bhishma blows the conch, many drums and trumpets and many things start blowing. It is at that time that Sri Krishna and Arjuna, seated in this divine chariot, they also blow their conches. Many warriors, their names are given and the conches that they blow are given. And very confidently, Arjuna tells the Lord, Senayor Ubhayor Madhye Ratham Sthapayame Achyuta. O Achyuta, the one who never falls, please place my chariot between the two armies so that I can see all the warriors who have come to fight me. Bhagwan does his duty as a charioteer, and showing the Kaurava army, he tells Arjun, Uvacha Partha Pashyaitan Samavetan Kuruniti. O Partha, behold the Kurus who have assembled here. These are the 5 words that Bhagwan spoke. Partha Pashya Etan Samavetan Kurun. These are the only 5 words that Shri Krishna speaks throughout the first chapter. He just listens to all the arguments that Arjun gives after these 5 words. And in these 5 words, it is the last word Kuru that triggers the downfall of Arjun. Suddenly he realizes that these are my family members. Bhagwan could have said these are soldiers, but he said Kurus. That one word triggered his fall. Arjun was extremely confident, and in fact, when Yudhishthir was feeling low on the eve of the war, Arjun asks Yudhishthir that on whose side is Krishna? Yudhishthir says, our side. Would Krishna support adharma? Yudhishthir says, no. So why are you doubting whether we should fight or not? So Arjun has cheered up Yudhishthir, and he was very confident. Arjun had prepared himself for 12 years in the forest, acquiring divine missiles, weapons, and including Pashupat Astra, etc. for this day. And when he is face to face with the challenge, Arjun sees his grandfather, his teacher, his brothers, his uncles, his sons, his grandsons, all his family members. And that mighty warrior suddenly collapses. Puja Gurudev used to say, before the exam the student is wise, after the exam the student is equally wise, but in the exam the student is otherwise. So Arjun says to the Lord, Drishtve mam swajanam Krishna yuyutsum samupasthitam. Arjun says, oh Lord, I am seeing my own relatives here. And he decided that he does not want to fight the war. He makes up various excuses. One is to have logical thinking and come to a conclusion, but Arjun has already come to a conclusion and now he builds up all the excuses. This is his flight response. The attachments in Arjun invoke the fright in him, and hence the flight response. He doesn't want to do his duty. He wants to go away into the forest. So he starts describing one by one various arguments. First he says the omens are not right. Then he describes the physical symptoms, that I am shivering, I am sweating, my skin is dry, my teeth are chattering, I am not even able to hold the bow falls from his hand, he is not even able to stand, and his mind is whirling. Emotionally he says, I don't want victory, I don't want enjoyment, I don't want kingdom. How can we enjoy all this killing our own people? It is better they kill us than we fight them. I don't even want the 3 worlds. What to talk about this earth and this kingdom? Intellectually he says they are blinded by greed, but why should we fall down to their level? What will we get by killing these felons? We will only incur sin. In fact, the duty of a Kshatriya is to destroy the felons. Here Arjun has completely got deluded. Culturally, he says that the war would destroy able-bodied young people, people who are capable of earning, who are dynamic. And with this, there would also be financial losses, psychological trauma of the war, families would get destroyed. And when the families get destroyed, then the family values, the family's culture, each family has a unique culture. The family traditions, the values, the disciplines, the rituals, the family deity worship, the specific unique things about each family that they used to follow, all this is Kula Dharma, this would get destroyed. Those cultural values cannot be passed on, cannot be practiced, and family being the basic unit of the society, many families getting destroyed would destroy the whole society. The fabric of society would get completely disturbed. When the families are destroyed, the family values go through destruction, then there is adharma in the whole society. Because there is no pride, there is no attitude of living without compromise. The honor of the family, the glory of the family is forgotten. There would be widespread adharma. One would follow corrupt ways. This would also bring danger to the women in the society. They would be left unprotected. And the progress of a society is judged by the security and safety of the women, especially when the Kshatriyas are destroyed, the protectors are destroyed. There would be widespread abuse and violence on the women. The men and women ratio, the gender ratio would be completely imbalanced. So there would be adharma in the whole society. Also, the Varna Vyavastha will get completely disturbed. People would not be able to follow what their inherent passion is. When people cannot follow what they truly are made for, there would be frustration. Imagine an engineer who is forced to become a doctor and conduct an operation in the operation theatre. Or imagine a doctor who is told to make a plan and execute the construction of a bridge. How disastrous it would be for the society when people do not do what they are meant for. Such frustrated individuals, when they come together, the general morality in the society also would fall. The young men and women, they mix with each other, blinded just by lust. There is no focus on better evolution, better culture. So naturally, there would be an unhealthy intermingling of individuals with incompatible cultural traits. In marriage, living together, trying to start a family would create a lot of disturbance in the whole society. There is no satisfaction in work, there is no prosperity in the society, in the families there is a lot of conflict. Hence, as a result, the family being the basic unit of the society, when that family unit gets destroyed, the culture in the whole society would get destroyed.
In the West, the individual is the unit in the community. Each individual has got his own rights and duties. In the East, India and China, to an extent Russia also, it is not the individual, the unit or the society, it is the family. Therefore, even today, the family tie is strong and not the individual arrogance. Here, if a brother is successful and his younger brother is in losses and suffering, the younger brother will not get 1 cent from the elder brother. The elder brother says, you try your best, it's your luck. In India it is not so. If one brother has got a job, all his brothers and other families are together eating from that one income. Therefore, even though they say that 27% is the unemployment, 30% is the unemployment, nothing happens there. Nobody starves. Why? If one fellow has got an income, one grandfather has got some pension coming, that will do. The whole family will eat. The family unit. This is all, the beauties of it are forgotten. In the modern craze of selfishness, that each individual, I and my wife, we will live together. We don't care what happens to the whole world. And even that, I and my wife also, a sacrifice is necessary. That is also too much, and therefore, I alone. Each individual has become selfish, and therefore there is no integrity of the community, of the society. The feeling that we are all belonging to one family, there is a greater affinity between the members of the family but if there is so much of overdosage of selfishness have come into the individuals shatter.
So he gave physical reasons, emotional reasons, intellectual reasons, cultural reasons, social reasons, and he also says, spiritually speaking, when the family traditions break down, each individual becomes highly selfish, individualistic, materialistic. They do not follow the higher ways of life that their ancestors have taught them. Many karmas like Shraddha, etc. would not be performed. As a result, even the ancestors would fall. And one would incur more and more sin, and ultimately one would go to hell and suffer. Finally, Visrujya Sasharam Chapam Shoka Samvigna Manasaha. Arjuna has thrown away his bow and arrow and is completely dejected, despondent, depressed, and he has come down from the chariot. He has not yet surrendered to the Lord, but he is resigned that I don't want to fight. Symbolically, he has given up his duty as well as his capability of self-effort and purushartha. From a hero, he has fallen into a victim mode. When one reads the arguments of Arjuna in the first chapter, one would feel that he is justified in all that he said and that he should not fight the war. But Puja Gurudev says this is called misplaced compassion. It is his duty to fight as a Kshatriya, to protect righteousness, but he took the war personally. He got distracted from his own duties because of his attachment to his own people. For a moment, if we think, if Bhishma and Drona were not there, would he have said all these things? So it is the attachment that completely clouded his vision. And the duty of a Kshatriya is active resistance to evil. From that state of active resistance to evil, he falls into this passive response where he wants to take flight into the forest. Dhritarashtra, Duryodhan and Arjuna, all the three characters are having some or the other attachment, and each of their attachments leads them only to sorrow. So the principle in life is, deeper the attachment, greater is our sorrow. What exactly is attachment? Let us listen to Puja Gurudev.
Attachment is very well known to every one of you. Every one of us have got some attachment or the other. But the attachment of each individual may be different from each other. You are attached to the mother, another is attached to the father, another is attached to the wife, another is attached to the children. Some are attached to their profession, some are attached to power, some are attached to money, wealth. Swamiji, you have never told what my attachment is. I am not attached to all these things. Then in that case you are attached to your dog. That is right. I am attached to my dog. Without some attachment you cannot live. If any one of you say that, Swamiji, I have no attachments, all that I can tell you is, lie down there, after the lectures we will attend to your funeral. Why? When there is no attachment, you are dead. Attachment everyone has got. Every one of you think of your attachment. Whatever be that attachment, and try to verbalize what do you mean by attachment. Attachment is a feeling. Luckily it is not physical. If physically you and I are attached to things, you can't move about. Because I am attached to my wife and my children and my property and my factory, my business or my house. How can you move attached? It's not physical. It's the mental. Analyze, what do you mean by in the mind an attachment? A mere thought. A stream of thought by which we tie ourselves to things and beings in the world outside. So when I say that I am attached to mother or father, whatever it is, it means that I am complete only with that being or thing. Minus that being or thing, I am the less for it. I'm not complete in myself. I plus my mother, life is wonderful. Minus my mother, I don't know what to do. I and my wife, beautiful life. Minus my wife, I have no hope of getting another wife. Silly feeling, just a feeling. Thing is called attachment. So attachment is a thought bondage, which means, that thought bondage, what is it? It includes I plus I want. Think again and again before taking down your notes. Think! I plus I want. This feeling towards anything in the world or any being in the world is called attachment.
So beautifully, Gurudev defined attachment as I plus I want, a psychological dependence, a thought bondage. And it is this attachment that overwhelms us. The first purpose of this chapter was to demonstrate the human response to a challenge. All three of them responded differently. Dhritarashtra out of tamas, Duryodhana out of rajas, Arjuna also responded out of rajas, but finally we see in second chapter he would go ahead and surrender to the Lord. That is when sattva guna in him has helped him to surrender. Situation remaining the same, response of each one is as per their mind. Second, attachment is the cause of sorrow. Hence, in life, we should identify what are our attachments and strive to overcome these attachments. If we justify these attachments, they can only bring our downfall and more sorrow. And these attachments overwhelm us. We saw that all the three characters are overwhelmed by their attachment. Puja Gurudev used to say, let not the storms of your heart cover the sun in your head. So the storms of Arjuna's heart clouded his thinking in the head and he was not able to do his duty. Physically he collapsed. So attachment has a pervasive effect on the personality. Body, mind, intellect, all the three collapse because of attachment. Even in computers, tablets, iPhones, the virus comes in through attachments. Third, this also shows us the lack of role clarity. Attachment completely eclipsed the role clarity in Arjuna. The role clarity that he is a soldier to protect righteousness as a duty was eclipsed by his role as a student, as a grandson, as a relative. In our life also, there is admixture of roles that happen. Which role should be given priority at what time in our life? We should be clear about that. And most of the time it is attachment that brings us down. We know that we have to prepare, we have to study, but some IPL match is there and our mind is distracted. We know we have to get up in the morning and let us do the meditation first, but we get on with the phone and mind becomes extroverted. Being attached to the role as a professional, I am not able to give enough time to my family. Being very attached in my role as a parent, I am not able to see the child objectively and I am not able to give space to my child. As a student, I know that I must study, but coming under peer pressure, I bunk the classes, I don't pay attention to the studies. So different roles get mixed up because of attachment and hence the need for role clarity in life. There are various roles that we play in life, but the main cause of confusion in the roles is absence of soul clarity. When soul clarity is missing, role clarity will be missing. As Puja Gurudev used to say, non-apprehension of the reality creates the misapprehension. When I don't know who am I, one or the other role becomes predominant. I get attached, I derive my sense of identity from it, and I'm not able to do my duties towards the other roles. So while I may learn how to balance the roles and do my duties in all the roles objectively, but I should also inquire into who am I as a soul? What is my true nature? And that soul clarity is the solution for all the confusions and problems of life. Shri Krishna begins his treatment in the second chapter with the knowledge of the soul, because that is the root cause of all our problems. The diagnosis of the root cause must be done to permanently cure the disease. One patient went to the doctor and said, "Doctor, please save me, doctor. Please help me, doctor." So doctor said, "What happened?" Said, "Doctor, my neighbor, he was diagnosed of typhoid and he died of jaundice. I'm very scared, doctor. I also have typhoid, doctor. Please help me, doctor." So the doctor said, "Don't worry. When I diagnose a patient of typhoid, the patient dies only of typhoid." So the diagnosis is very important. What is the root cause of the disease has to be found out. And the root cause of the disease is ignorance of the self, as a result of which we think we are this finite, limited individuality. And then we get confused about our roles. So it is said that our identity determines our purpose. We may have different roles and identities and different purposes in each of them, But what is our true identity? Independent of all the other roles that we are playing, that identity we must be very clear about. As Puja Gurudev would say, Gita is the Krishna cure for the Arjun disease. Arjun disease is the disease of samsara that all of us are in. And Krishna cure is the soul clarity. When we gain the soul clarity, the non-apprehension goes away, because ignorance of who am I is the cause of all sorrows. When that is destroyed, we are able to pick up our bow and arrow, go ahead and do our duties, attain success and fame. Shri Krishna does not just treat the symptoms. He does not give a pep talk to Arjun that, come on Arjun, you can do it, it is in you. You have already defeated the Kauravas earlier. Get up, awaken the potential in you. Bhagavan doesn't just give him a pep talk. He gives him self-knowledge, which is the permanent cure of this disease. Now we find that in the first chapter, all the three characters had someone or the other to guide them. Dhritarashtra had Sanjay, Duryodhan had Dronacharya, Arjun had Shri Krishna. But Dhritarashtra and Duryodhan are not even able to open up nor get any advice or follow it. But Arjun, he opens up to the Lord and Bhagwan gives him the knowledge. That is the power of purity of mind and sattva guna. It is sattva in us that helps us to surrender, to admit that I don't know anything. And hence Arjun's Vishad becomes his prasad. His sorrow, his dejection also becomes a blessing for him because of the sattva guna in him. Literally the meaning of the word Arjun is one who is straightforward. Rijutvat Arjunaha. Arjun did not have an ego issue that how can I open up to Shri Krishna. Nor did he have an ego issue that what will the others think. I am a great warrior and amidst the two armies, I am here. If I collapse, what will everyone else think? He was straightforward. He opened up his heart and he told the Lord what he felt. So may the Lord's grace and blessings be with us, that we may invoke the sattva in us, become straightforward like Arjun, surrender to the Lord and get cured of this Arjun disease. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.